If you were going to travel through Europe, are you willing to trade Europe's most famous sites for something more off the beaten path? Are you willing to immerse yourself into a country's culture and history over following a tourist trail? The good news is you can, and without sacrificing the European beauty, history, old towns, and atmosphere of the famous places. In today's video, I will take you all along the ultimate tour of one of Europe's hidden gems and show you why this needs to be at the top of your European bucket list. This is Tbilisi, Georgia. Welcome to my first 24 hours in the Republic of Georgia. I was not expecting it to start like this. I just landed from Istanbul tonight. I got some food. I saw this lighting up from a distance and I thought to myself, this is absolutely the first thing that I've got to see. So this is, actually I didn't even have time to check out the name. I just came right away, so I'll research it in a second. But man, this trip is already fantastic. I'm so excited to go see this. It's getting windy, so the sound's going to be a little sorry about that, but look at the incredible church behind me. I'm going to take you guys around the area, give you guys a better idea of what the whole thing is like in front of me. I'm not sure what it is, maybe a grave tomb or something, but this is also incredibly cool. I think it's yeah, it's closed, so I won't go in, but it's gated up. It's quite amazing. And then of course, just absolutely insanely beautiful. This is definitely beyond my expectations. And around here, you have incredible views from the city. So I think there was a service or something going on in there, so I didn't actually go in. And the locals were kind of looking at me because I really don't think many tourists go there at night, but not really angry looks or anything, just kind of curious. And I love showing you guys the in-between touristy spots. So check out how dark and scary this road is. This building is pretty abandoned. This door, I'm a big fan of cool looking doors. I don't know why. This is creepy. This window up here is caged out. No actual window, just the bars. Cracked cobblestone. This would be a very good time to tell you guys that it's actually pretty safe here. You wouldn't guess it by the architect crumbling, but that's just how it is in a lot of the former Soviet Union countries. But this is the type of city I like. I don't know, it's got some edge to it. And then literally just around the corner is where the tourist area begins. As you can see behind me, some pretty cool stuff. I'm not actually sure if that's actually the real fortress or just a building. And then on the other side, it's kind of hard to see, that there is the fortress lit up. And there is yet another, I'm assuming crazy beautiful monastery that I'll surely check out tomorrow. So I'm just heading back to the hostel now. On my way, I found this really interesting statue right by the old city, and behind it is a absolutely crumbling building. That's pretty cool. I don't know if you can tell behind, but that building has definitely seen better days. And on the statue here, I think that's the Georgian writing, which is quite a cool and complicated looking language. My premature first impressions of Tbilisi, Georgia were if Eastern Europe and the Soviet Union had a child together, you would get Tbilisi, which actually makes a lot of sense, and we'll touch on that later. And although a small section of Tbilisi is somewhat touristy, overall it was just a millifraction compared to many other European cities. The city felt completely authentic and was easy to explore outside of the tourist spots. We settled into the hostel for the rest of the night, where a few drinks were consumed.
And we just like took the hostel. We like stayed there for like only for one night, like for 6 hours maybe.
And then they want to give you like a lot of alcohol.
That's how, I haven't had experience yet, but I want to have those. But
Go too far down that track. Just clear it.
I just need to clear the
Clear everything.
I'm gonna find out tomorrow.
Good morning from Tbilisi, Georgia. I'm starting my self-guided tour around the city today, and I wanted to start here because I've never seen anything like this. I know Europe has places like this, but I've never seen houses and buildings just sitting along a cliff like this. It is absolutely magical sight to see, and a cool little river along here too that separates the city. The river's kind of trashy actually. There's lots of garbage floating down on it, but if it wasn't for that, this would be an absolutely perfect site. So this is stop number 1, and then I head into a fortress now too, so should be quite an amazing day. Actually, before we get to the fortress, we're probably going to run into lots of cool things throughout the city. For example, right in front of me is this incredible view. These are sulfur baths. I'm not sure if they're still operational, but inside of these, at least they used to have sulfur baths, and it's just an incredible view. Let's take a moment and check out the highlights of the town center. As mentioned before, there's a very strong European Old Town feel, however it also holds a very strong Soviet feel as well. The Republic of Georgia was once part of the Soviet Union and is even home to former Soviet leader Joseph Stalin. The Soviet influence in Georgia can be seen in the vehicles, the marshrutka taxi vans, which is the local form of public transportation, buildings in residential areas, and probably most noteworthy, the metros or subways. The metros in the Soviet Union doubled down as bomb shelters and are always built deep down. Despite Georgia's former ties to Russia, they are strongly pro-Ukraine and are not afraid to express it. This should be the last stop before we reach the fortress. Could you believe we're only about a 10-minute walk from my hostel right now? This is an incredible botanical garden, basically right behind the city center. There's waterfalls, lots of flowers, and just as pretty as could possibly be. We have made it to the fortress finally, but at the very beginning of the fortress is a church called St. Nikolai Church, I do believe. So we're gonna go inside that first. We're gonna go up this fortress, and this view is beyond insane. they don't actually make this super touristy, just like perfectly new steps or anything. You actually gotta do a little bit of climbing. Wicked. And there's just a bunch of beautiful flowers everywhere too. Red and black flowers, yellow, and then you have the decaying fortress right here. It looks like there's a tomb at the top of this one. I'm gonna see if I can get there. One second. There we go. Made it to the cross. So it looks like I can't actually access the rest of the fortress from here. This part, I'm the only tourist here, so maybe this is kind of like the abandoned part where most tourists don't go, but whatever, man, I'm gonna enjoy it anyways. And the botanical gardens are just behind me, and then on the other side, just beyond epic. So I'm gonna climb down from here and see if I can get to the other side, because I think I've explored the whole area here. I'm gonna have to run down that, I think, so GoPro off. When we went to the other side, we found the statue of Mother Georgia, a symbol of the Georgian national character. In one hand, she holds wine to greet her friends. In the other, she holds a sword to greet the enemies. Now, a bit of a side recommendation. If you have a spare day in Tbilisi, I would get a Marshrutka taxi van, discover some of the rural sites of Georgia, and go to a town called Gori, just 1 hour away from Tbilisi. This is a very popular day trip and the birthplace of former Soviet leader Joseph Stalin. The town hosts an interesting museum dedicated to Stalin, and it is a top spot to visit in Georgia. The highlight of the museum is you get to enter Stalin's former personal train, which is a lot less luxurious than you would expect. The town is somewhat small, but also hosts a great fortress and some Soviet-style war monuments. We are just shy of the 24-hour mark, so I am going to sign off here. Tbilisi was amazing. It's super small, so you can see almost everything in one day. I would still recommend 2 days though, because it's an awesome city. Take your time, soak everything in. But anyways, next time I see you guys, we'll be in the mountains of Kazbegi in Georgia. So see you guys there.